and during this period, of course, we had all the normal stuff. I mean, we had to change the Arsenal badge.
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
Yeah. Well, we had to do that. I mean, my predecessor, David Dean, had started a legal case against somebody selling Arsenal shirts in the street. And
I think that was Matthew Reid.
Yeah, Matthew Reid. So it was a pretty famous case. Matthew and David was kind of suing him because he sold an Arsenal shirt in Avenel Road. And it came to pass that when we actually looked into it, we actually didn't really own the trademark to the Arsenal shield. So we decided to change. We had to change the mark. I mean, we couldn't carry on with the lawsuit because we couldn't prove that we had copyright. So that's when we redesigned the Arsenal badge. Fortunately, there was a guy called Michael Carr on the board at the time who was a really sensible guy, and he and I worked on it. I mean, I did 90% of the work. He was the kind of non-exec that worked with me, and we ended up with what you've got today. And I've actually at home got the original drawings of all the ramifications we looked at.
What it could have been.
I've got them all on my wall.
Is this your favourite one then, I assume?
Yeah. That was the one we settled on, and there were huge arguments on the board. Everyone said, I don't like it. I think it's awful. I said, you'll love it. And in the end, everyone said, it's wonderful. It's much better than the old badge.
What did you think?
Fantastic.
What was the kind of consensus amongst fans?
Okay, I'm really glad you said what you said, because back in those days, I had a meeting with Matthew Reid back at that time, so I knew the background to the case. I don't remember the club coming out at the time when you changed the crest for the reasons you were doing it, although I knew the reasons you were doing it.
We never said to anyone, I mean, the problem was we couldn't sell any shirts then because we didn't have the rights to sell them. Anyone could have sold shirts.
Yeah, so I always knew the reason.
Yeah.
I think now it's probably more out in the public sphere. It's definitely out now, the reasons, but the club put absolutely different spin on it, which to me, I was in the know.
Yeah,
was absolute rubbish that it was changing it for all the benefits of the fans. As a traditionalist, I like the old logo, but one thing I've come to embrace is that there needs to be change.
Yeah,
and there was a very practical reason why it had to be done, and if I had. If it was up to me, I'd still have the band marching around at half time.
Yeah.
I'd have a different playlist. But then I understand now that at 50 years old, what I like isn't particularly what every fan likes, and the taste of the fans change. So I get it. I totally understand why it had to be done. Although for me, dropping Victoria Concordia Crescent from the logo was sacrilege.
But nobody understood the Latin anyway.
Well, I
not
did.
Many people understand the Latin. So I think it was a move for good. I think these things have got to be moved on, and I think it's a very modern, modern insignia, and I think it works really well.
Yeah, it does work. I understand the reasons for it. Victoria Concordia Crescent, out of victory there's harmony. I think that's fundamental to our club's motto.
The problem is that you do certain things, like for the last season at Highbury, we did that very special shirt.
It was,
and we took it to the fans because Nike were very worried about it. And I said, no, we're going to do it. Actually, it was the idea of my communications director.
Okay.
It was her idea to do something like that. And we did a bit of research. I mean, we weren't really sure what shirt they first wore when they went to Highbury in 1936, but we thought that was kind of like something like the colour. And we took it to the fans, and we said to the fans, we did focus groups, and we asked the fans what they thought about the existing shirt, etc. And then we brought this shirt out and said, well, what would you think about that? What happens if Arsenal decided to play the last season in that shirt? They said, we would hate it, and we'd never buy one, and we'd never touch it. It was disgusting. And then we said, well, what happens if we told you it was the first shirt that they ever wore? We don't care. We wouldn't care. We'd still think it was disgusting. We'd never buy it. That was the best-selling shirt that Arsenal ever produced. So, what people feel in their heart doesn't actually work sometimes with the way they act and they react, and their wallet works. So
I wasn't part of the focus group, but I can say it was my favourite ever shirt.
Yeah, and I think it's still
and it's actually the last Arsenal shirt from the official shirts that I ever bought.
Yeah.
And I still wear with pride. I've got Bergkamp on the back. Shirt. It's my favourite shirt.
Yeah.
Other than that green one back in '84.
I don't even remember
which was so horrible that it became iconic.
Yeah, I think I've seen that recently, actually.
Yeah.
That's kind of come back a little bit. Tradition with vision. Not sure if that means anything to you.
Yeah, it
Tell us
does.
a bit about that.
Well, I think that was our tagline for the new logo, and I think it was, we said, look, we want to be a traditional club, but we want to be visionary. So we want to hold all the important parts of our history and be honourable to them, but at the same time be visionary and do exciting things. And I think that's been lost a bit. I think Arsenal's that visionary now, and I think they've lost a bit of their tradition. I think they take the fans for granted, and I don't think they spend enough time with the fans. I mean, we started fan forums, and we used to have very lengthy fan forums, and I supported and started the Arsenal Supporters Trust and funded it, because I think that's an important part of it as well.